So I just finished reading The Outsider or The Stranger by Camus, and I'm going to offer you 3 different readings of it: a Christian reading, a neurodivergent reading, and a Buddhist reading, all framed on the premise that narration offers salvation. Pick whatever one resonates with you, as Mersal, or I don't actually know how to pronounce his name, Mercier, as he would say, it doesn't matter which one you think is the right interpretation, because in the end, they're all the same. So a Christian reading of The Stranger would go like this. Mersal's appeal seems to be that he's a simple and uncomplicated man who sticks to his principles and is punished for not conforming and murdered by the state for it. In a way, he's a new version of Christ. He's called the Antichrist in the book, and there are some similarities there. So Jesus hung out with lepers and prostitutes, while Mersal hangs out with lepers and pimps. He doesn't judge them. He accepts them and cares for them just as they are. He doesn't interface well with society either. And in his trial, he is given just about every opportunity to say the phrase that's going to free him. He's practically spoon-fed a response that would give him his freedom, but he doesn't take it. He's not killed for his crime itself, but more for his maladaptive language. In the Christian confession tradition, unconfessed sins lead to hell. Narration offers salvation, and he refuses it. Now, that's one way to read the book, and a Christian reading of The Stranger might not be as salient today, as Christianity doesn't have as strong of a foothold on our consciousness now as it did in Camus' time. But a neurodivergent reading would be all the rage now, and a trendy language that people use to describe their experiences, as can be seen in a lot of Instagram and Threads use of therapy speak. And so I'm pretty sure that people who think about masking and how difficult it is would be able to identify with Mersal's inability and his outright refusal to mask. He does seem to have a kind of autistic way of describing how to interface with others, right? It's like, ooh, are we going to do the eye contact game now? Or, I need to make people believe that I agree with them. Oh, okay, I know how to play this game. Or people with ADHD would be able to identify with Mersal's inability to pay attention to things that he just doesn't want to pay attention to. It's amazing how often he describes himself as bored. Now, a less trendy diagnosis of Mersal would see him as suffering from alexithymia, which is the inability to describe your emotions. He could describe all of his sensations well in a very embodied sense, but naming emotions for him isn't really on the menu. Emotions, after all, they're not biological. They're not natural per se. They're not really fundamental. They are socially constructed. They're linguistically constructed, which is in line with neuroscience's current best understanding of it. And so Mersal just hasn't been trained to use the right words to describe his experience. He doesn't perform grief the way that he's expected to perform it, the way that he's been shown to perform it. The way that we perform grief isn't natural. It's probably something that we've emulated. We've seen in movies how people are supposed to react to death. Those that watched Hamlet recently will remember that scream when a loved one dies. But in the end, it's still all just a performance, all social conditioning. The problem that I have with Mersal is that he believes what he thinks is the truth. He's very, very true, very reasonable, and very rational. But that's just one performative language that he's adopted, and he can't actually see that it's kind of bullshit as well. Anyhow, for those that don't lean towards Christian speak or therapy speak, both of which have way too many similarities in my mind, where both require confession to a priest or therapist, and where in both narration is salvation, if those readings don't speak to you, then maybe a Buddhist reading of The Stranger might be more appealing. After all, we could really say that Mersal is so present. His relationship with Mary is super present. He doesn't think about the future, and he doesn't really express any form of attachment. It's very much a non-attached state. He doesn't regret the past, which, as we know, is an illusion anyways, and he doesn't think much about the future, which also is an illusion. He describes what his body is sensing in the moment. He doesn't talk about financial or career anxieties, and it doesn't make any difference if he works here or in Paris. It's all the same thing. He doesn't care if you die at 30 or at 70 because every life is more or less the same. And all of this is really in line with Buddhism's one taste principle, meaning that there is only one taste to all experience. There is no positive or negative emotion. There's nothing to judge. We just have sensations, and then we confabulate some bullshit language afterwards, and that's really where the birth of our suffering comes from. There is no why, there is no reason for the murder in the book. The sun was hot and shit happens. The seeds of karma came to ripen. There's really no use talking about it. Narration, in the Buddhist sense, is not salvation. Narration, on the other hand, is what perpetuates your suffering. Because suffering, after all, is a language game most of the time. And if you're suffering, you're probably just using dumb words. Use better words, ding dong. And so I think the major question that this book raises for me is, does talking about your experience save you or damn you? Does describing your pain free you from it, or does it keep you suffering? I don't know. There's no clear answer. It's not either or. It's always some mix of the middle. And so these are the questions that I'm going to be asking in a book club next week, where we're going to be talking about this book. If you have any interpretation of the book that you like, any kind of reading, any kind of scholar that you follow that talks about this, please do share, because I want to go to the book club as prepared as possible. I am kind of nerdy when it comes to these book clubs. And actually, to get really nerdy, I recently built a feature in my reading app that prepares you for your book club so that you could schedule the date of your book club, and it could keep you on track so you finish the book in time. And it also prepares all of the notes and the quotes that you've saved so that you could have them at hand for the book club with questions that you could ask based on your notes and quotes. I know, it's super nerdy. I love it. Because I don't know about you, but whenever I'm at a book club, I always have difficulty finding the right passage that I want to share. It's like, oh yeah, where did he say this thing? Was it on this page? And I flip back and forth through my book, and it's not really that useful. And so having everything available in the app really kind of makes these book clubs easier for me. And so if you are part of book clubs, please check out my app, and I hope that you like it. Thanks for watching this video. I'm going to talk about Rita Felski in my next video. I'm reading my third book of hers. She's absolutely amazing. What I love about her is that she kind of brings critical thinking to critical thinking. What does it mean when we are critical of the critical? How do you offer a critique of critique? And where can you go from there? Lots of great questions to ask. I'll talk about that soon. I love her work. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again.